Okay, what I do is I make mats for the homeless. And afterwards, if everybody wants to come up and feel this, they're really cushiony. You want to come up and feel it? Okay.
You can feel it, Annika.
Right? And they're really soft, so they can sleep on them. I'm going to show you out of these paper bags. Yes, I've taught her before. And what you do, everybody has these bags at home, right? For shopping, and you usually throw them in the garbage when we're done. Which, if you recycle them, that's really, really good. A lot of people don't, but I'm going to teach you how I turn this bag into this mat. So if the ground is wet, or if the ground is really hot, and the homeless can put this on the ground and then put their blanket on top, and they don't get wet, and it'll be softer, and they won't have to sleep on the hard cement. Exactly. So what I do here, I have one started as well, and you can make all different kinds of designs.
Everybody sit down so everyone can
what color
see.
bags you have, Walmart bags, Publix bags. So you can, whatever bags, blue is Winn-Dixie. I learned to know every store I go to what color bags they are. So what we first do is we take our shopping bag and we are going to lay it flat like this. And then we fold it in half, and we fold it in half again. We have a little strip like this, okay? Then you get a pair of scissors, and you cut off the handle end, and you cut off the bottom, and then we're going to cut this into thirds. I'm assuming in school you've all learned what thirds are. What you can do is you can fold it like this, press it down so you can make a little indent here for you to see, or you can just eyeball it a little bit, and you cut these into thirds. Once you have these, you are going to connect them. And what I usually do is I cut maybe about 50 bags, get a bunch of these, and then start looping them together. And the way you loop them together is you put one inside the other, and you make a T. And then you take one end, put it through the other end, grab it with one hand, pull down with the other hand, grab the bottom, and pull. And you don't want to pull too tightly because you want to keep this knot fairly big just in case you have to open it again. Because sometimes we make mistakes and we have to undo it, and it's much easier than if you pull this really tight and have this little knot. It's really hard to open it. So then we take another, and we make a T, put it through, grab it, pull it down, and from now on we grab the knot and we pull. And you have yarn, which is plastic yarn, which we now roll up. I fold them over like this, sort of to keep them bulky. A lot of times you can sort of wrap it around your hand really tight, but I don't like when it gets really smushed up like this. So I sort of roll it. And you roll it and then turn it and roll it until you roll it into a big ball like this, which means you've cut a lot of bags and you've looped a lot of bags together, and you are left with this ball. So what we do, I've actually started, I'll do this, I've started this. And this is the way it begins. It doesn't look like anything, but you do this for 6 feet. And And the way you crochet, I'm going to give you a quick little demonstration, is you take your ball and we're going to make a loop. So we put our first 2 fingers in here. We then bend them down to the floor. Then you put your fingers together. Take this little piece here, pull it down, so you now have a loop. Take your crochet hook and put it in the loop. We're going to crochet really, really loosely, because if you do it too tight, first of all, it's going to take way too many bags, and you're not going to be able to crochet really easily. So we use a size Q crochet hook, and we're going to start doing our first row, where you wrap the plarn around the crochet hook, you hold this first slip knot here, and then you're going to pull it through. And then you give it some slack, and you wrap it around again, and you pull it through. Give it some slack. Wrap it around, pull it through, give it a little slack, because you want these nice big stitches. And this is actually the most difficult part. I'm making it look pretty simple right now, but it does take some time to get this done loosely. And I like to do the mats 2.5 to 3 feet wide. You know, some people like me maybe don't need as wide of a mat, but there may be a big man who would need a wider mat. So typically, I would say it's between going across 35, 36, 37, 38 stitches across. And then you're just going to go for 6 feet. So depending on how loosely you crochet across will depend how many stitches it really is. If you're crocheting a little bit tighter, you'll probably need 40, 42 stitches. If you're quite loose, you might need 33, 35 stitches. So I usually go for a while, keep a tape measure, and then measure. So when I get to, I'm going to switch to this one, and this is after I've done a couple of rows. When you get to the end of each row, you do something a little different, which I'm going to show you. But when you are crocheting and you've got a couple of rows started, what you do is you're going to be able to see that there's a hole as you go. There are holes here. And you're going to go into each hole. You're going to put your crochet hook through the hole, wrap the plarn around your crochet hook, pull it through the hole, so you're left with 2 loops. And then you wrap it around again and pull it through both loops. You see how loose that is? That's pretty loose. And then I put it in again, pull through once, wrap around, pull through both loops. And you continue that forever. It takes about 300 to 500 bags. So, excuse me. So you're not going to finish this in a day. You're not going to even finish it in a week, which is okay. You can do a little bit a day, and it adds up. You just, you can do it for an hour each day, and before you know it, in 10 days, you have a whole mat. So, and what I have a it's not a website, it's a Facebook page. It's called Bags to Beds. And if you go to Facebook, put in Bags to Beds, and if you click on the video section, I've done short little videos. When you get to the video section, you can click on See All. There's a video on how to cut the bags, it's about a minute long. And then a video on how to loop the bags together, what I just did. Then how to do that loop and the first chain stitch row. And then how to crochet, like I'm doing here. in a little bit more detail. So you can watch it and you can see a section, then you can pause it, try it yourself, play it again, pause it. I learned this on YouTube because I had absolutely no idea how to crochet. But I thought, you know, YouTube can teach you anything these days. And they did. It taught me. And that's what I did. I went through the videos and I just did like 10 seconds at a time. Stick my hook in here and do that. You have questions, please?
How many subscribers do you have?
You know what? I'm so not aware of that. I don't know. I should look at and check that out. But maybe if all of you become subscribers, that'll pick it up. My real goal is, I didn't know it was a goal to have subscribers, but maybe that is a goal. But my goal is to get as many people to the page and learn how to do it, and then have those people go out and teach other people. Yes?
If you get subscribers, then they get notified every time you make another video.
Oh, really? So I'm going to have to talk to you after, and you're going to have to help me get some subscribers. Okay. Thank you. It's amazing what you can learn from kids these days. Yeah, I'm back in the dark ages. But I'm trying. So, because that's what I really want to do. I want to teach you, teach your volunteers, teach the Girl Scouts, teach people in assisted living homes to do this so then they can have their own classes. And it seems to be spreading like that. I even am having my high school reunion, 40th high school reunion. I'm going to scare you guys. But it's been 40 years since I graduated. And at the reunion, they've asked me to teach the whole reunion class how to do this. And they all want to go back to their states and then do this.
Spread it. That's fun.
That's huge, and that's what I really want to do.
We can, if anyone wants to learn this, watch their videos and we can post them on Sugar also. And then when you guys do it, you can upload you guys doing it. And when you start getting it completed, we can have a whole social media frenzy.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Because even if you don't want to do the crocheting part, not everybody has to do the whole thing. I have people who just drop these balls off at my house. They've done the cutting, they've done the looping, they roll it into a ball, which I love, because then I just have to sit and crochet, which I love. And not that I don't love doing the cutting too, but it's nice to have some help. And it's nice to have some more crocheters as well. But if you just want to cut bags, and that's it, you can just give me the little pieces of cut bags. I get those dropped off as well. Just people put the big Ziploc bag and have all these cut pieces, so then I can make the farm. So anything anybody could do, even just saving bags, if that's what you can do, you're really, really helping. Every little bit helps. And like I said, I'm going to learn from you guys, but what I've been doing to promote it is I did start this page. I started teaching this at Goodwill, which is a place that in their community room you can teach free classes and people can take the class for free. So that has gotten the word out, and because of that and because of all the hours I put in there, I was named Ambassador of the Year through Goodwill. And because of that, when I was accepting the award, there was somebody there from the Observer newspaper. So they called me and did an article on it, which is what got me all of these balls of yarn, because now people know about it. Then ABC Action News Tampa read the article in the Observer and wanted to have me on TV doing this, which I did. So if you guys have an idea, no matter how small it is, and you just start where you are, doing what you can do, it's amazing what happens and the snowball effect of starting and then who hears about it. Yes?
So you created this thing, like you created
Good question. I did not come up with this. I saw it on Facebook myself. And it was a church in Ohio. One second. A church in Ohio was doing it. And they had these these older women, and they had one table was making yarn, and one table was cutting bags, and one table was crocheting. And then they interviewed the homeless who were the recipients of these mats. And they were crying and so touched. And it just really touched me. And I had this thing about these bags going in the oceans and getting in those sea turtles' noses, and so if I could avoid 500 bags per mat going into the landfill or the oceans, then and helping the homeless, it was a win-win.
Yeah.
So you can get ideas everywhere. Yes. Did I answer it?
Well, I used to live in Georgia, and I went to this church called Good Shepherd, and we had this, we had these at our church, and I believe it was in third grade. I went to one of those after school things to learn about the church and stuff. And the lady who was the mom of the teacher, she was the one who started this. Maybe it's wrong, but
Really? She could have. I don't know who was the original person who started it, because once it starts to take off, you don't know who. Yes.
She did say she moved from somewhere, so maybe she did originally start it in Ohio.
Right. So, but it's nice to see that anything that you start can really get big. I mean, what you're doing here with these lunches is huge. And I think this will even get bigger, and what you're doing in with the socks, and it's huge.
So Michelle, last year was one of our first sugar events that we had, and we made 100 lunches. And then when we put it out there to the community, all of you and your parents, you're so generous, and people want to help others that need help. So they said, here's an extra loaf of bread. Here is 60 more apple sauces. Here are some Cheetos. I have a box of 150 cookies. And we're like, wow, look how generous these people are. The more you can get, the more you can give, which is really cool. So we're going to make 300
Wow.
today. That is crazy when you think about it.
So proud of you.
So, go ahead. Okay, sure. Yeah, we're gonna start getting ready. Are you ready to make some sandwiches? Lunches?
Does anyone have any more questions for Michelle? Here's an idea for you guys.
One question.
No, go ahead.
Yes.
How many times would you wrap it around the crochet stick?
How many times do you wrap it around?
Yes.
You wrap it around once. You put it through. You wrap it around one time, pull it through, but then you wrap it around again one time and pull it through both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you guys would like to help her in your spare time at home, when your mommy comes home or daddy comes home from Publix, Target, any of the stores that we frequent, and you want to do the bags, we can help get your contribution to her to the right spot. And if you decide that you want to master in crochet, please let us know about it. Film yourself and put it up. You can post it on our social media site, on Michelle's social
Post it on the
media
bags
site.
to bed side.
Yeah, absolutely. So the more you guys can do it, and one thing that we've noticed just from getting out there is it's all about awareness. You're going to find and learn about different people that need different things, and once you know about it and it makes you feel good by giving back to them, then you're going to tell your friend, and then your friend's going to have that same feel-good feeling. So it's all about bringing awareness. So now we're going to get started. Remember, rule number 1, we're going to wash our hands, but we're going to break up so it's not crazy in the bathroom. When we get back from washing our hands, we're going to put the hairnet on first, then we're going to put the gloves on, and then if we have to touch anything on our face, we're going to take the gloves off, do it, and re-wash our hands. If we have to sneeze, cough, or get anything up and out, we're not going to do it near the bread. We're going to try to make this as clean as we're hopeful that you will keep the bread on the plastic of the table. And then you'll see peanut butter and jelly. So the knives and the peanut butter, you take one dollop of peanut butter, spread it on so it's not so much, but enough that everyone can have a nice bite of peanut butter. And then do the same for the jelly on the other side of the bread. Put it together and in the bag. So that is how that's going to work. So if I can have, who is the oldest person here? Do we have a 10-year-old here? Two 10-year-olds. Okay, can I have one 10-year-old?
There's 12 and 11.
Oh, 12. Okay, can